And we are recording. And now I'm going to do a live stream over to YouTube, if you give me a moment. All right, we are live. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Virtual Coffee with Ben. My name is Ben Blackman. I am the Director of Development for RIDGE. That's Royal Innovation Design Group, which is a group of innovation consultants based in St. Petersburg, Florida. Before we get started, I want to encourage everybody out there to visit the RIDGE YouTube page and our Facebook page, where you can like and share all of our great content. You can also schedule your own virtual coffee session with me. You can hop on the show here and we can have a conversation, or we can talk offline about how RIDGE can help your company innovate more effectively. This show focuses on how companies create a strong culture for their employees, how they strategically plan for the future, and how they innovate. I'm excited to welcome today our guest, Danielle Ruiz. Danielle is the Senior Economic Development Manager at Duke Energy. And we are also joined by Philip Leslie. Philip is one of our visual strategists, and he's going to be doing a live graphic record of today's conversation, which we'll be posting after the show. Hope you guys are both doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. Danielle, as I mentioned, you're the Senior Economic Development Manager at Duke Energy. Can you provide us a little bit of context on your role in the organization and what your objectives and goals are?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's fun to be part of this group. I've enjoyed watching this with previous interviews, so it's fun to be part of that. Thank you. So my role at Duke Energy is a little bit more unique than you would see at a electric utility. I do economic development, which essentially means I'm trying to bring business to our 35 county service territory in the state of Florida. We do cover 6 other states, 5 states that are electric service, and then another state that has gas service. So every day I work with our communities, our economic development groups, state and local, as well as the architectural engineering consulting world to bring business to Duke Energy's footprint. So really knowing what's out there from sites and buildings to understanding the timelines to get a project up and running.
That's great. So what are those keys to retaining business, growing business in a variety of sectors? What is kind of the magic that you bring to it?
Sure. Well, I've always said you need to know what's in your backyard, right? So we need to know the industries that are strong in the communities that we serve to help us tell the story to new companies that we're recruiting. So we work a lot with our local internal teams, the account managers that work with our existing customers, and leverage the relationships that we have with those folks, but also work to create new contents, new contacts, and recruit new companies to our service footprint. So that's working with site selectors, industrial brokers, and really promoting what we have available. So three pillars of our economic development program include our economic development efforts, which are essentially working with those site selectors that I mentioned, those representatives that companies hire to bring to support their growth plans. We also have a site readiness program, which analyzes and evaluates properties that are prime for industrial and commercial development. So really recognizing what there is available at the site from a utilities perspective, infrastructure, but also what there is not, and figuring out a plan to know how much it would cost and how long it would take to bring service to that location. And then lastly, we have a business recruitment team who is 5 individuals spaced out across the United States, recruiting for our 6-state electric service territory footprint. So really those 3 pillars help us evaluate the industries and ultimately compete to relocate them to our footprint. And I'm mainly representing our state of Florida Duke Energy footprint.
So as it relates to Florida, in Tampa and North Florida markets, and when you're looking at those business opportunities and you're looking at job creation, I know that you have to work with community boards and government leaders. What does that process look like? How do you get involved with those government leaders? What is that a part of the job that is, particularly difficult, or do you find a lot of cooperation?
Yeah, so with my role, I'm really trying to provide the value proposition to those folks that I work with, having them understand what we can deliver and support them on at the local level. So those community boards, I am very involved in the economic development organization boards that are public-privately organized, as well as some governmental organizations. And most recently with Idea Schools Tampa Bay, which is a new charter school program coming out of Texas that is looking to establish several schools in the Tampa Bay market. So yeah, it's really understanding, sharing what we could bring to the table, not only just programs, but helping them build their tax base and helping them create new jobs and opportunities for both the existing existing residents and their active workforce, but also helping to tell the story to recruit new people to their communities. So really, I think it's a both sides benefit, right? Working together, and ultimately the communities win with new companies coming in, expanding companies, and creating new job opportunities.
That's great. Now, on this show, we obviously talk a lot about innovation. So I'm curious, at Duke Energy, are you guys doing certain things in regards to innovation, or really strategically planning for the future? Are there any big changes that are coming that you could tell us about?
Well, obviously, the energy world is ever changing, and the political environment definitely sways that discussion. But over the last several years, since 2018, we've invested an estimated basically $1 billion to construct or acquire a total of 700 megawatts of cost-effective solar power. And that'll be going through 2022 in Florida. And then we're planning another 1,500 megawatts of solar generation through 2028. So that's our renewable footprint in the state, and really actively focused on identifying properties to bring those to the communities. And we're also investing $115 million in a 50 megawatt energy storage pilot program. And through this program, we've announced energy storage projects in Alachua County, Columbia County, and Gilchrist County in the north, Gulf County in the Panhandle area, Highlands County to our south, and then in Pinellas County at Johns Hopkins Middle School. So that'll also be an emergency shelter support that the location can leverage the battery stored, or the energy stored at the battery level, to support these shelters when we have a emergency need in Pinellas.
Mm-hmm. So like a hurricane, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. That or any other natural disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also advancing our electric vehicle infrastructure in Florida. We and will install, own, and maintain over 500 electric vehicle charging ports, providing opportunities for road and non-road electrification. And we're also investing up to $8 million to create electric vehicle education and awareness. So you may have seen the new solar facility that's at the new pier in St. Petersburg.
I have, yeah.
We also have some charging ports there. And then they're all over, at business locations, at apartment complexes, at grocery store, retail centers, all over our footprint, just to make sure that we support our customers that are looking for electric vehicle charging ports. And then lastly, our Power Up program. We are in the phase 2 of a multi-year program to improve the grid and provide greater protection from storm damage. So we will invest $6.5 billion through 2026, which is a 10-year commitment to support this effort.
That's really impressive stuff. Is there an area that you just discussed that you're particularly passionate about?
Most recently this year, we've had a lot of interest from companies. So, to my day to day activity, in really having a strong interest in sustainability and renewables. So, our focus as a company across all of our jurisdictions with renewables, the solar facilities, and really ultimately the battery storage is most interesting and exciting for me. But of course, any investments that we're making in our service footprint are benefiting our selling points when we try to recruit a new business to our territory with our economic development efforts.
Yeah, well, that's great. I'm super excited about all the things that you guys are doing. I'm curious though, we talk about the pandemic almost every week. It doesn't seem to be going away. It's changed the way a lot of people have worked. I'm curious how it has affected the way that you and your peers at Duke Energy have worked, whether that be internally or externally with your customers as well.
So, and obviously that's top of mind for everybody. At Duke Energy, for as long as we've existed, and many other utilities, the safety of both our grid, our customers, and our own employees is the number one goal every day. So really with the pandemic, no one saw the pandemic coming, but it was only natural for our company to be able to pivot and respond to the next challenge around that. So we're very fortunate that the company really was prepared to, with the resources to shift almost 30,000 people to working remotely in mid-March, and only recently had our second phase of reentry into the office in September, with several thousand people returning back to the office. And really our third and final phase will be in January of 2021, at least planned for right now. But we've had such success overall working remotely that many people have been given the opportunity to work from home permanently. So that's been an interesting shift for a lot of people. But we are fortunate that that the company really responded well to dependent care, the challenges around that, and of course our linemen and our customer facing and grid support type folks have been on the ground ever since. So nothing really has changed with them. It's just clearly wearing personal protective equipment when they're interacting with our customers or anybody from the public.
That's great. If you're just joining us, you're watching Virtual Coffee with Ben. I'm Ben Blackman. I'm the Director of Development for Ridge. That's Royal Innovation Design Group, a group of innovation consultants in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm joined today by Danielle Ruiz. She's the Senior Economic Development Manager at Duke Energy. If you like what you're hearing, you want more content, you can go to our YouTube page and also our Facebook page to like and share all of our content. And you can stay tuned for more conversations like this one. We have conversation every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Danielle, I've read that you've actually taken over Duke Energy's Instagram account. I'm curious how that responsibility came about, and I'm curious what your approach is in utilizing Instagram to help promote Duke Energy.
Yeah, so really I have to thank our corporate communications team. They're such a great group to allow various departments to tell the stories of different things that Duke Energy does that's different than most people realize, what we're working to support our communities that Duke serves. So what you're referring to is we have several social media communications, and recently we've highlighted economic development by talking about how we engage on companies, projects that come in to inquire about opportunities in Florida. We highlight a couple companies locally in the Tampa Bay market that we've been involved in helping relocate, one in Pasco County. We also highlighted our site readiness program. So the evaluation of a 285-acre property, touring a business on a site in Hernando County at the Brooksville Tampa Bay Airport. So really, yeah, it's communicating by social media channels is obviously key for any type of interactions with the public. And so it was fun to be able to showcase what we do in a fun way to video and showcase some of the businesses that are our customers and some of the projects that we work on every day on economic development efforts.
Well, that's great. And I'm sure you're having fun with it. I am guessing when you first got into economic development, you never thought you'd be dealing with social media. I'm curious, for those that are looking for a career in economic development, what advice do you have? What was your background in terms of your education and kind of how you ended up at Duke? And, for those that are looking to kind of follow that similar path, what advice would you have for them?
So most people don't plan to be in economic development. It just kind of happens, through their business career. But I studied business management at Clemson University. Go Tigers! And we really, I didn't know about economic development when I graduated, but I did move to Florida after school, and I came upon. I went to a workforce center, like a career source, and they hired me there to work at their interfacing with the job seekers. And then I worked through there and became an account manager within, it was a state of Florida workforce system. And so my workforce background really got me into the economic development space at the county level. And, I did a lot of business retention and expansion. So meeting the local companies, being part of a lot of industry groups locally, and interacting, understanding how businesses work operationally, and being able to support with resources. I think just being able to truly make an impact in the community is what people really love about their career. But it's been such a rewarding career for me. I've come in and out of economic development throughout my 20 years, and but I think being aware of seeing how businesses grow, the diversity of an everyday, there's nothing the same every day. And seeing the companies really benefit from what you can bring to them with resources that they didn't already know about, and ultimately having a win of a local decision, a company growing and expanding in an area is really, really fun. So we're able to work with a lot of different types of companies. For people that want to get into that, I think it's really, you have to have the passion to work at the government level, but also with public companies, and being able to be nimble and listen, and have the opportunity to support them. But really, it's really been rewarding. And anybody that's interested in learning more, I'm happy to discuss it further.
That's great. Love to hear background stories, and I'm very jealous of your college football team's success.
We've had a good run. Hey,
Clemson has had a good run, so
that's
just had
right.
to throw that in there. All right, before we wrap up though, I want to take you through what we call the BGT Fast Five. It's the Benny Good Times Fast Five. It's 5 quick questions to give our audience a little bit of insight into your life in a non-work related sense. So I'll hit you with 5 questions just real quick. Curious what your favorite thing is about the Tampa St. Pete area.
It's hard to name just one thing, but I would say that I just love this area. It's been my home for 20 years almost. Next year will be 20 years. And, from the great restaurants in St. Pete to the beautiful beaches on the Gulf Coast, and our great sporting events throughout Tampa Bay. I mean, it's good for every age group. We have wonderful weather, which is honestly what brought me down here. I did not have a job. I came down for the weather, but ultimately I've had a really strong business career and really been able to meet such great people around the area, both that have grown up here, but have also relocated here for their career. So
that's great. If you had a free ticket to travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
I think I would travel to Italy. That's been on my bucket list for a long time now. I have Italian roots on my dad's side, and my grandfather was born there. So I do have an affinity to vineyards as well, and wine. So I think I would really enjoy just the culture, the food, and just learning more about where my roots are stemmed from.
That's great. Hopefully we'll all have the chance to travel overseas sooner than later. I know a lot of us are itching to do it. I'm curious, what is your favorite movie?
So this is probably funny for many, but Pretty Woman is my favorite movie of all time. There's so many facets of that movie that I just love, and I love Julia Roberts. So, but I do like a mafia story. So Goodfellas is my second.
That's a great choice as well. 2 very different movies, Pretty Woman and Goodfellas.
Yes.
Very far apart on the spectrum, but
right.
good choices for sure. All right, so if you were shoved on a stage during a talent show and you had to perform, what would you do?
That is a difficult question. I'll be honest. I'm not a big on stage type of person, but I was thinking about this a little bit, and I can do a lot of gymnastics moves still. And I seem to, challenge the kids, or they challenge me a lot. So I think I'd probably do that, or maybe sing. I
Oh,
like to
okay.
do that as
What would you
well.
be singing?
I don't know what I would sing even. I've been on stage with karaoke, and that was fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm probably not the best talent show
Well,
person.
we'll stick to gymnastics with the kids. It's probably better than I could do for sure. That's one of the reasons I
Exactly.
asked that
Splits.
question.
We'll do
I don't
splits.
have any talents. I always like to find out if other people have talent.
I
It makes
know.
me
I
feel
wish I
better
did.
when
I wish I
people don't
kept
have an
up.
answer. And finally, I want to know, who is your hero or your biggest inspiration?
I think my biggest inspiration is my family. My heroes, my parents. I've had awesome mentors business wise over the years. But ultimately, at the end of the day, my parents are probably my biggest heroes. They've been entrepreneurs very early on in their adulthood, and bought and sold many businesses. And it's always been amazing to me to see that history and their success. But obviously, my kids inspire me every day. So that's by far why I get up and hit the ground running every day.
That's awesome. Well, I thank you so much for joining me. It's been a great conversation. Before we go, I want to give you an opportunity. Where can people go that are watching that might want to learn more about Duke Energy and all the great work that you guys are doing?
Well, we have our general Duke Energy website is www.duke-energy.com. And then specifically for our economic development efforts, it's same web address, duke-energy.com/locate Florida, or locate FL specifically. You can find more about our programs, our competitive rates, and a lot of the sites that I referenced through our Duke Energy Site Readiness Program. But resources around energy efficiency and energy services all throughout and then even stops, move, and relocate service. So a lot of good resources on there, a lot of initiatives around renewables. So definitely check out the website.
And don't forget the Instagram page either. So got to
That's
make sure
right.
to
Social
go.
media. Yep. Instagram and LinkedIn, and for
Yes,
sure.
it's all out there. Well, thanks so much. It was a great conversation. Again, if
Thank
you're
you.
out there and you're interested in learning more about Ridge, you can go to www.ridge.com. That's RIDG.com. And as I mentioned, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our Facebook page for more content. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Danielle for joining me today. And thank you to Philip Leslie. He's finishing up his graphic record here. We're going to be posting the final copy on LinkedIn so everyone can see that. But until next time, everyone, take care out there.
Thanks again, Ben. Have a great day, everybody.
All right. We have